Streaming until I have everything written and ready to go, and I have we will never ever do this. So hey, let's start rolling solo. Hi, welcome to Rolling Solo, an actual play Daggerheart show where I am the host, player, and GM. This welcome, glad you joined us. As always, before we actually get started with anything, we need to read the Daggerheart disclaimer statement. So let's go ahead and read that. This video was created using the Darrington Press Community Gaming License. The Daggerheart Open Beta Materials are owned and copyrighted by Darrington Press, LLC, all rights reserved. This video is based on the following public game content created and owned by Darrington Press, Daggerheart Open Beta Materials, Darrington Press, LLC, 2024, available at daggerheart.com. This product is adapted from or based on content created and owned by Darrington Press, Daggerheart Open Beta Materials, Darrington Press, LLC, 2024, available at daggerheart.com. Hi, Rachel. So that's that. Okay. And with that, and a quick sip of tea, let's get started. Last week on Rolling Solo, we had some heartfelt conversations between some of our characters. Our main character, Ariane, had a conversation with Colbrow, the orcish wizard's old school friend Hallberg. Colbrow, who is a princess, had a bit of an argument with her retainer and longtime faithful guard, Ursula, about the boundaries of their relationship. And we sat in a bar on the banks of the junction of two rivers, and Hallberg made arrangements to continue traveling downstream on some sort of barge. That's kind of where we're at. The general story is that assassins are trying to kill Colbrow. Ariane got involved secondarily. Ursula has worked with Colbrow for a long time, and everyone is just trying to get people alive and downstream. So, that's where we start, with the sun rising, and over this nameless river settlement. It's basically a series of docks, low buildings, tavern, dock workers, people of all different ancestries, moving about in the early morning and preparing their various vessels for departure. Along a sort of slow-moving river, a large, slow-moving river. So as our intrepid heroes have breakfast in the crowded tavern, Hallberg will bounce out and for a bit and return, informing them that their boat is ready. And they will simply grab their gear and head out. Boat may be a bit misleading. What this is a tug. It's kind of a medium-ish paddle wheel boat that is pulling several barges that are mostly made of logs. So as logs have come downstream, Hallberg's family being the logging business, they've been bound together into just sort of gigantic rafts of logs and are now being tugged along by this boat, which is probably an oxen-driven boat. There's a way that this is done. It's more information than we need, so I'm just going to skip that. but it's not like it's a tug. It's small. It's perhaps 40 feet long, and not like the staterooms or anything like that, because this is something that goes down the river, pulls off when it needs to avoid the difficulties of nighttime navigation. So we are either going to montage this scene or not, and that is going to depend on our very, very first roll of the day. Where we are going to roll to see if we have any complications. I think things have chilled a good bit. So I'm going to say that this is a barge heading down a river. What are things that could happen? There are a good number of things that could happen. Rain, monsters, mechanical malfunction. So let's give it, let's get our chaos level. Let's drop it down to 4 and let's just roll a d6. What we expect of this scene is that we're going to montage the entire river. We'll see some pretty scenes of woods going by, then slowly more settlements, and then we'll come to the town of Felvavik. That's what we expect. Let's see what happens. That's a 5. 5, abjuration. Remove something from the scene. Oh my. Oh my. What can we remove from the scene? Okay, what are the things that are in the scene? The things that are in the scene are a boat, 4 characters, a number of NPCs who would be running the barge, and a pilot who's piloting the barge, a bunch of logs, and a river. Okay, things we can't remove from the scene. We can't remove the river from the scene. If we remove the tugboat entirely from the scene, then we're all going to drown and die. Or are we? Okay. So is there a problem with the boat? We're just going to do a straight roll, and we'll see what happens. Just a straight roll, anything over an 11 or over, or over an 11, there is a problem with the tug. Sorry about that, but there it is. 13. There is a problem with the tug. What is the problem with the tug? Let's ask another question. Is the pilot so hungover that they ran this tug aground, and we are now going to have to get off the tug and go to the shore? I mean, that's a heck of a yes or no question, but let's just ask it. No, that is not what happened. Okay, well, that's good to know. That's a critical no. How dare I suggest that this fine, upstanding, hold on a minute. There we go. 19. 19 is an elf. How dare I suggest that this fine, upstanding elven man would get so hungover that they couldn't drive their tug. I'm offended, he's offended. So that's not what happens. It's a critical no. The pilot is perfect. So what happened to our tug? Was the tug somehow sabotaged? Weak, yes. Okay, interesting. So we have some kind of sabotage. Is the sabotage directly related to the fact that Colbrow is on the tug? No. Well, in that case, the sabotage makes no sense whatsoever. I think we're going to have to go with I think we're going to have to ignore that roll. We're going to ignore that roll. We're going to go with a yes. We know that Colbrow was recognized. We know that nothing happened as a result of that in the bar. But tug was mechanically sabotaged. The pursuit is going to get yet another tick on their countdown, so they're getting much, much closer to us. Somebody just wanted to slow Colbrow down. And therefore, we're going to have to get off of this tug and while they make repairs. So sometime in the early morning, the group is sitting on the kind of deck of this boat. Kind of wish I had a boat now, a boat mini, but just go with me on this. So our group is sitting on the deck of the boat, and they, as we are cruising down the river, the pilot is kind of, making these adjustments. You can't really tell why he's making the adjustments, but it has to do with just charts of the river, knowledge of where different snags would be, and counting a timer. So this is an expert pilot. He's piloting his boat. You hear a grinding noise from underneath, and then slowly the paddle at the back of the boat starts to stutter and not move quite as well, and the boat then is kind of at some point they get a little bit closer to an island that's kind of in the middle of the stream, and they drop anchor. And there's a lot of hubbub down below. A stocky, 15. There you go. That's a 15. 15 is a dwarf. So this dwarf comes up, a dwarven man. A dwarven man comes up from underneath and says, and kind of goes up forward to the front of the cabin, and goes up front to the front of the cabin and says, and you kind of hear a little bit of murmured conversation, then a little bit of louder conversation, then a little bit of murmured conversation, then a little bit of louder conversation. Then this kind of tall elf in a kind of heavy jacket with a cap comes out with this dwarf who's dressed in leathers, and they both go down back below decks. There's a lot of swearing, and meanwhile, Kohlbrow, Ursula, Hallberg, and Ariane are just sort of chilling out on deck and, chilling out at the top of the boat, kind of looking at each other like, what the is going on down there? What the hell? And after a bit, this elf comes up and comes over to talk to Hallberg. Says, well, we're screwed. What do you mean we're screwed? What's happening? Well, the something got into the gearing down there, fouled it all up. Afraid we're gonna have to put in here for a bit. You guys are welcome to stay on the. I think we've got the equipment to maybe make some repairs, but it's going to take us a good solid several hours, and we're going to end up bunking out here. So, there's not a lot of room on the boat. If you guys want to, I don't know, we got some crappy provisions, but maybe you could, I don't know, go to that island and go hunting or something if you wanted something better. Or you can just sit here on deck while we fix this. Either way. And Hallberg says, yeah, okay, I think we'll, well, what do you guys think? And there's some discussion, and I think what we're going to all agree on is that they're going to go to the island that they're stopped by, mess about a bit, and see if they can hunt up something good to eat, maybe make a more comfortable camp than they would have on the boat. And so that's what they'll do. They will go and examine and explore this island. Now, we haven't been using it much. But there is an. No, we'll stick with this. I'm not prepared to go into the more complicated 6D12 system right now. I'd have to find it. So I think that's jumped the chaos level on our scene a bit. It's brought our chaos level up to. I would say we're back up to a D8. We'll bring our chaos level back from 4 to 6, and something big has happened. We have removed our boat from the scene. I have got to quit putting my thumb up, because every time I do, I get that thumbs up from the... It's driving me crazy. Anyway, so we've removed the boat from the scene. And let's see. So something has happened. We have gone to a new scene. Let's roll a d20. Well, let's... So what do we expect now? I think what we would expect from the next scene would be that they would go to the island, they would wander around, they might find some birds or something, do some hunting, have a nice camp out, and in the morning be ready to move on. So that's what we would expect. So let's roll a d8 and see if that's what we get, or if we get something to play out. D8. We're going to remove something from this scene. So we're going to remove the birds. And I think that, so they take the boats, they paddle on, they look about, and they realize that they're not going to find anything to hunt. They've just got their rations. is there anything dangerous on this island? Oh, there is something dangerous on this island. Good. Okay, so there is something dangerous on this island. What is it? And do we encounter it? Let's say it's... So, we're on the island, we're hunting. As they explore, they come upon a cave. So let's describe this island. This is essentially, this is a place where there are a lot of rocks in the middle of the river that are sort of scattered around an island that is actually quite large. We'll say it's almost half a mile across, downriver, and or maybe a mile downriver, and maybe half a mile wide. So it's a fairly half a mile wide. That makes this river huge. So say a couple hundred yards wide. We'll say the river is actually quite large at this point, but it's a couple hundred yards wide and about half a mile long. In the middle of a river that you think of it as being like the size of, say, the Missouri. Maybe not the Mississippi, but it's a good-sized river. And in this kind of massive island, it's surprisingly tall with the rocks. It's covered in deciduous trees. And so this is a place where you would expect to find a lot of wildlife. But, so they take their boats in, they navigate through the rocks, they find a sandy beach, they pull the boats up, they begin exploring the island. And Ariane, will make a roll. She will make an instinct roll. So this is with a +0. The purple die here will be our fear die, and the clear die will be our hope die. She will make a roll to see if she notices anything. Seven. She does not notice a thing, but she does get a hope. So that's nice. So she doesn't notice or feel anything strange about the fact that we have so much kind of a lack of wildlife, which is what we have removed from the scene. So she doesn't really notice anything with the lack of wildlife or the strange silence. She's just kind of wandering through this place and is kind of annoyed by the amount of, and let's give Ursula I'm going to give Ursula a finesse roll. DC's 10. Ooh, fear. Okay. What fear? She's annoyed by the amount of noise that Ursula is making. And because of that annoyance, she fails to notice anything in particular. And since we just rolled with fear, I am not going to take a fear. I'm instead going to make a GM move. The GM move that I am going to make is that I am going to have something on the island begin stalking them. I'm looking for a chance for an ambush. And so, unfortunately, here at 25 minutes in, we're going to have to take about a 3 or 4 minute break because I have to set up, here, let me show you what I had planned. What I had planned was to level up. So my battle cam is, about 1.5 feet closer to the table than it usually is. And therefore, I have to readjust the battle cam because we're gonna have some combat. So they're not gonna look like giant scorpions, but they're going to be giant scorpions. And there are 2 of them. Why there should be 2 of them, I don't know, but there are. So let me just get, so like one thing I typically do when I do something like this is I will, because I need to get, to mark their combats, I'll have a card. Oops. And I'll just do something like, say, Scorpions, Scorpion 1, Scorpion 2, hit points, stress, hit points, stress. These guys get 3 stress and 6 HP. And that's just to make my life easier over here. We got our action tracker. We got our cubes, and we are ready to go. So, we've already failed our sense rolls, so I'm going to say that our scorpions are going to get, I'm going to spend, I'm going to say the scorpions are going to go ahead and get first crack because they, we already failed a roll to see if we noticed anything strange. So let's get to it. So the first thing that's going to happen is this scorpion is going to move in. It's going to attempt to get, let's say, behind them here. It circles around behind them, and it's going to use its double strike action. It's going to mark a stress. We'll call this guy Scorpion number 2. Oh, we'll call him Scorpion number 1 since he's moving first. Scorpion number 1 is going to mark a stress to make pincers attacks against 2 targets within range. On a success, deal 2d8 physical damage to each. So, who we have back here is Cobra and Ariane. Our Scorpion will make their attack. Let me get the... wish I could do the dice cam with this, but I can't. That is... here. As an 18 is what that is. So that is a success. It will now do 2d8 damage to each of our characters. So this first damage is going to be against, we'll start with Ariane. That is 11 damage. That hits her major threshold. I'm going to mark an armor, take that down to minor, and she will take 1 HP. And against Colbrow, that is 6 damage, which she will just take 1 HP on that. Okay. Scorpion number 2 will move in and will attack Ursula. And I think Scorpion number 2, let's see what they've got for attacks. Venomous Stinger, +2 attack modifier. Make an attack on a success, spend a fear to deal 2d8 physical damage and envenomate them. Well, envenomated, before they make an action roll, they must roll a d6. If the result is a 4 or below, they mark a stress. Wow. Okay. Let's go ahead and make that attack. I will make that attack and I will spend that fear. That is a natural 20, which fortunately means nothing more than it does. So I will spend my fear. I will do 2d8 physical damage. That is 6. Which for Ursula is a single damage. But she is envenomated. And so we'll have to either mark a stress or do something to deal with things. But now it is our character's turn again. So let's see. We'll start with Ariane. What can Ariane do? Okay, so the first thing Ariane is going to do is she is going to become unstoppable. So she's going to go ahead and once per long rest, she becomes unstoppable. Her unstoppable die begins as a D4 placed on your character's sheet. Class features gain resistance to physical damage, add an extra D6 to any damage rolls you make, add the current value of the unstoppable die to your armor score, not be restrained or vulnerable. Okay. So I'm going to start her with her D4. Every time she makes a move, that's going to come down. So that's the first thing she does, is become unstoppable. And I think that's all she can do. She will, therefore, she's going to make an attack. So Ariane will turn, she will make her attack. The Scorpion is a 13. However, let's remember we add some stuff to this. Let's see. So she also rolls 2 of these things. Those D1s. So that brings us to a 12. The Scorpion is a 13. Is there anything I can do to add to this? Yeah, because she's a +2 with the battle axe. So that would be a total of that's 12, 13, 14. 14 will hit. And so with that hit, she will roll, I think it's a D10 plus 3, plus a D6. So her first roll is going to be D10, a D6 plus 3. Okay, so that's 9, 10, 11, 12. Which is 12 damage. So, all right, so what's happened so far? The scorpion has come up behind Colbrow and Ariane. It is struck twice with its pincers. The other scorpion comes rushing out from behind a rock, slams Ursula with its stinger. It's our character's turn. Wow, I forgot to mark whether I marked that with hope or fear last time. Whether her attack was a hope or a fear attack. I'm going to roll it again because I don't remember. I'm not going to roll the attack again. I'm just rolling to see if I get hope or fear. That's a hope roll. So we'll get hope on this. Ariane turns, raises her battle axe, swings, slams into our scorpion. The scorpion will take, I said 13 damage, I think, something like that. Whatever it is, it's between its mates. It wasn't enough to do it severe, so it's a major hit. It will take 2 hit points of damage to scorpion number 1. And then we'll move on, and it will be, we'll go with Ursula will go next. Ursula will take her attack. What can Ursula do that's cool? She failed entirely to roll her prayer dice at the beginning of this turn. So let me find a couple of D4s just to make sure that she has those for herself. It's a 2 and a 2. She can spend it any time. One thing she's going to do is she's going to take flight, which she can do for a minute. She is going to, I think, just attack with her axe, just a straight up attack. She's going to respond to the scorpion by swinging back. That will be a 15, which will hit, but it is with fear. So initiative will switch back to me. So with that, she will do 1d10 plus 1 magical damage. That will be 10. She does 11 damage. And that is, again, that's a major hit, but not quite over their severe threshold. Scorpion number 2 will take 2 hit points of damage, but now we have gone back the other way. And Scorpion number, okay. Let me roll on the, for the, envenomated condition, which I forgot to do. So many things to keep track of. We roll a d6. If the result is a 4 or below, that's a 5, so that's fine. Okay. Our giant scorpion number 1 will mark another stress to again do their double strike. And they roll a, what is that? They roll a 6. but their attack modifier is a 2, making that an 8. Which will be a minor strike against Ariane. She'll just take it at this point. That will be a major hit against... as a major hit against Colbrow. She will take an armor slot, so she can reduce that. Wait. No, that's damage dice, dude. Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. Roll 2d8 damage for both opponents. 2d8 against Ariane. First pincer strike comes in, it does 7 damage. That 7 damage is going to be a minor hit, so Ariane will simply take that damage. Which marks another hit point. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. My main battery is about to run out. My iPhone battery is about to run out, which means we will have no microphone in about 10 seconds. So... Ooh, bad planning on my part. Thought I had more charge than that. Okay, I'm going to complete the Scorpion's attacks. Let's get this done. Scorpion number 1 does 7, just 1 hit point. Second pincer attack. Second pincer attack is for a total of 8. That's 8 against Colbrow. 8 would be major for Colbrow. She would have to take 2 armor slots to reduce that to minor. So she's not going to. She's going to go ahead and take both hit points of damage, putting her at 3 out of 6. That would be Scorpion number 1's turn. Scorpion number 2 is going to make just a straight up pincer attack against, because I am running low on fear, so going to do a straight pincer attack against Ursula. That is a 12. A 12 will definitely hit, even without a modifier. Doing 2d8 of damage. For a total of 7. 7 for Ursula will be a minor hit. She will simply take that hit point of damage. So, as things stand now, Ursula has taken 2 hit points of damage. Colbrow has taken 3 hit points of damage. Ariane has taken 2 hit points of damage. Each of our Scorpions have taken 2 hit points of damage. So things are looking pretty even for our characters and the enemy at this time. It is now our character's turn, and we will begin with Colbrow. So let's see, what can Colbrow do? She can do quite a bit. What she's going to do is she is going to attempt to make a power push. So these Scorpions have come in, they have attacked her twice. They are striking with their pincers, 1 to her, 1 to Ariane, doing quite a bit of damage. She would like to move them away. So she will attempt her power push. So again, for our dice, for our dice. Our purple die is our fear die. She will power push. She gets a +2 to this spellcast roll. So we'll grab 2 tokens, and we will make our roll. That is a 4, 5, 6. That is a failure. And our scorpion on a failure, initiative goes back to DM. And the scorpion will simply attack. It will riposte. With a 19, they will definitely hit her. And they will do 2d8 of damage. For a total of 14, I think. Yes. So 14 damage being done to Cobra. That is above her severe threshold. She only has 3 armor. She will mark 2 armor. To take that down to merely major, she is now at 5 out of 6 HP. And we return initiative back to the players. Cobra will go again. Come on, kid. Do something good. I'm going to switch some dice. Okay. All right, that is a 7 on the hope die. That is a 9 on the fear. That is with 2 extra, so that is an 18, which will definitely hit. So on a hit, what is going to happen here is that because she is using her power push, first thing that happens is she does a d10 of damage. So that's a mere 1 damage. Which will do minor damage to our scorpion. So scorpion number 1 takes 1/3 damage. But it will also push them out to very far range, I think. They're blasted back to far range. So what happens at the power push is that this scorpion is pushed backwards out to far range. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12. Far range being more than 30 feet, I believe, or 30 plus feet. And so she will use that to push that scorpion away and push herself slightly back. Giving the scorpion, since she rolled with fear, the scorpion gets to go now. But that scorpion is not going to go because they got pushed way back. Instead, the scorpion that is on Ursula will take its shot. And we'll roll with its pincer attack. It rolls a 14, which definitely hits. It does 2d8 of damage. So that will be 6 damage. And that for Ursula, that is a minor damage, so she will simply take that damage, now being at 3, and Ursula Fran's daughter will continue attacking. She is going to move, since she is flying and can fly for the remainder of a minute. She is going to, using her flying movement, get above this scorpion, and so she will be, we'll just assume that she's in the air and kind of out of their range. And she is going to strike with her spirit weapon. So that will be, her roll is a +2. So let's get that roll done. Sorry, she moved up and back, so she's back here. God, can I not roll with hope ever? That will hit, but it hits with fear. And having hit with fear, well, first off, let's roll the damage. It is 1d10 plus 1. There's 1d10. It's 10 damage again, so that's 11 damage, which will do 2 to the scorpion. So scorpion number 2 takes 2 damage. But the scorpions get to go again. This scorpion will come rushing in, but it will not attack Colbrow since she pushed herself back a little bit. Instead, it will stop to attack Ariane. And it will attack... Oh! I forgot again with Ursula, she is envenomated. And while envenomated, she has to make a roll to see if she marks a stress on a 4 or less. But that is a 5, so again, she manages not to mark a stress. But simply shrugs off the poison in the air. But giant scorpion number 1 is now going to attack Ariane with its stinger. That is a 3. Which, even with its +2 to a 5, but Ariane's evasion is a 6, she manages not to get struck with the stinger. So I do not spend a fear to attempt to envenomate her, but we go back to attack rolls. Ariane's going to do 2 things. First thing she's going to, well, she's going to attempt to do 2 things. First thing she'll do so it's her action. She is going to strike with her battle axe. That is a 6, that is a 7, that is an 8, that is a 9. Which will do her no good whatsoever. So that is a miss. On a miss, goes back to the scorpion. Scorpion will riposte. Four, 5, 6. That 6 will in fact hit. Scorpion does 2d8 of damage. For a total of 13. So its stinger comes down, so stinger comes in, misses. She returns with the axe, misses, leaving herself open to get hit. That stinger sinks in. She will be now, I am out of fear. But Ariane is also envenomated and must make must roll for stress every time she attacks. that will bring us over to, so we're back to the player's side. And I think from the air, Ursula will take her turn. Let's see. Ursula, I believe, is yellow. Okay. Well, she's yellow now. So let's make her attack. Again, she's striking with her. That is cocked. And she will roll doubles. Yeah. Critical success. So I have forgotten what the critical success rules are. So I'm going to look that up. You roll duality die. If both die roll the same number, you automatically roll a critical success. It succeeds with hope, but you also clear a stress. You take a hope, clear a stress. If you make an attack roll, you'll also deal extra damage equal to the maximum value of your damage die. So this hit will do 20 plus damage to Scorpion number 2. She will do her 10 damage plus 1 for the spiritual. What is this feature called specifically? This is for the spirit weapon. So on her spirit weapon, she will do 10, 17, 18 damage. 18 damage will be equivalent to the giant scorpion's severe threshold. Actually, it's quite a bit more than that. So that will take care of that giant scorpion entirely. Ursula will gain a hope. So with the spirit weapon, so let's fade this out. That takes care of that guy. So with the spirit weapon, it comes flying out of her hand, strikes the enemy, and then instead of returning to her hand as it normally would on this critical success, she's going to go ahead and take another action to strike at the second scorpion. Back at scorpion number 1. That will be an 8. She also gets a +1 on that. 9. Nothing she can do about that. She needs a 13. So it misses there and returns to her hand. The scorpion gets another attack. However, because there's only one scorpion left, he only gets 1 attack. This scorpion will again attempt to move into position here to strike at both Colbrow and Ariane. So the first attack on Ariane is a 10. That will hit. That will do 2d8 of damage. For a total of 5 damage, which is just 1, so Ariane will go ahead and take that. Attack on Colbrow. Is, look at that, it's a natural 1. +2 is Well, Cobrow's evasion is actually quite high. It's 8. So she manages to avoid taking any hit at all on that. And that will be the Scorpion's turn. And it is now everybody else's turn. Ariane is tired of the Scorpion. She is going to attack it with her battle axe. Let's see. Hope die, fear die. Let's see if we can roll with hope. Of course we can. That is a 14 with fear. So Ariane does a 14 with fear. She does get to roll damage. She does... So for her damage, because... Okay, so that'll bring that down there. That will bring her unstoppable die down to 2. So she only has two more uses of that. But she does add an extra d6 to this damage. And it is a 1d10 plus 3. (1d10 plus 3 plus 1d6). So let's see how much damage we do. Let me pull these guys out of here. 12, 13, 14, 15. And their severe damage is 3. So, you know, the Scorpion comes rushing in. Pincer strike, pincer strike. You know, hits Ariane, misses Colbrow. Ariane, with this pincer kind of buried in her arm, shrugs it off, yelps, and brings up her battle axe, cleaving the arm from the Scorpion and cutting into its carapace and ending its life at this time. And we are now officially out of combat. So that was fun. Okay, well, so I think we're going to close there with the end of combat. We will pick up at this point next week. Don't forget that, you know, if you want a Rolling Solo t-shirt or hoodie or any of the other hoodies or t-shirts that I design, you can find them at my Etsy shop, Solid Soft Design. Thank you so much for joining me, or for watching this later. And I hope you have a fantastic day. And, you know, don't forget, for the future, keep rolling.